The perfect 24-hour pizza dough. This is going to be a 60% hydration dough. We're using real Manitoba flour, 320 grams, with a gluten strength of 300 W. We're going to be using 90 grams of semolina, 1 teaspoon of active dry yeast, 30 mLs of extra virgin olive oil, about 250 mLs of cold water. You're going to need measuring spoons, a scale, and a large bowl. You're going to need a KitchenAid mixer or equivalent. Now we start the process by adding the 250 mLs of cold water into your mixing bowl, 1 teaspoon of active dry yeast. Now in a separate large bowl, you're going to add 320 grams of strong bread flour, or what I'm using, the Manitoba flour. Now you're going to incorporate 90 grams of semolina. In a separate shot glass or container, pour 30 mLs of extra virgin olive oil. Now once the yeast has bloomed for about 10 minutes in the cold water, add your flours into the mixing bowl. You're going to set a timer for 15 minutes and let the mixer mix the dough on level 2. 30 mLs of extra virgin olive oil. Once the dough has been mixing for 15 minutes, cover it with a wet towel and let it rest for 30. After that, grind 1 teaspoon of sea salt, add to the dough, and mix for another 5 minutes. Time to make dough balls. Lay out a little bit of bread flour onto your countertop. Bring out your scale, and the recipe I'm doing should yield about 3 dough balls at about 230 grams or a little bit more. Separate and weigh your dough. Rolling the dough in your hands, use your index finger to push in, and then pinch with your thumb and index finger to make a ball. Once that's done, drop a little bit of olive oil into a sealable container, put the dough in, set it aside. Finish the rest of the doughs and put them in the fridge. Once the doughs have rested for 24 hours in the fridge, put a little bit of semolina on your counter and drop one of the doughs down. Drop the dough down, flip it over, covering both sides with semolina, and using your fingers, make a little ridge all the way around the pizza. Try not to push out the middle, because that's where the stretch is going to come from. Using a DJ spinning technique, just keep turning the dough. Wipe off the semolina, flip it on the other side, and now grab a wine bottle and roll it out. Using the wine bottle, it makes the pizza a little bit more flatter and a little bit more crispier. Now this part is key. I like to build my pizza on the peel. That way it's easier to launch. So cover your peel with a little bit of semolina and put the dough on top. I like to be generous with my sauce because I'm a saucy bitch. So cover the dough and take your time spreading around the sauce. It really adds to the aesthetic of the look of the pizza. I don't like to shred my cheese, I like to cut it into pieces and equally spread it around the dough. Grab your favorite pepperoni and cover the pizza. I like to do a light sprinkling of Parmesan on top before I send it in the oven. Make sure your oven has been on for at least 40 minutes on high heat. The second you launch that pizza in, turn down the heat halfway and monitor cooking time. I like to do about 20 to 25 seconds on the first side, pull the pizza out and turn it with your hand and toss it back in. Do about 15 to 20 seconds on each side, monitoring how crispy and dark the pizza gets. And you can also toss it in for 5-second bursts to really finish off the top. Your pizza should have a crispy crust and a mild char at the bottom. Cut your pizza up, and I like to cover it with Italian snow, Parmesan. A little bit of basil for flavor. I always like having some kind of dipping sauce or topping sauce, so I add honey with a little bit of buffalo, and I warm that up in the microwave. Drizzle it over your pizza to add a little bit of sweet and spice to make it extra nice. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a crispy, delicious pizza that's easy to make in 24 hours. Enjoy.